Alright, everybody, so we're going to talk about the second part of Revolution Comes to China Today, part B of that. So we'll get started. So our objectives and standards to describe the conflict between the nationalists and communists in China, and to explain why the nationalists and communists united. Take a look at the standards here. And our desired result, what occurred in terms of fighting between the nationalists and the communists in China. So by 1930, there is a bloody civil war going on in China between the nationalists and the communists in China. Now, Mao Zedong, along with fellow communist leaders, established themselves in the hills in southern China. I'll show you a map of this here in a little bit. Now, Zedong is also going to add to his recruits to the Red Army from peasants. So remember that the communists in China really focus on agriculture and peasants and supporting them. So the Red Army will get a boost in support from peasants who decide to join the fight. Now, nationalists are going to attack, but they were not successful at driving the communists out of the southern hills in China. In 1933, however, Zhang is going to gather an army of 700,000 men, and they're going to surround the communist mountain south in southern China. Now, realizing this, the communists are going to flee with 100,000 men, and they're going to begin a 6,000-mile march that's going to last slightly over a year. Now, soldiers during this march will face extremely hot and cold temperatures, rough environments, and of course fighting along the way as well. And many will suffer and die along this journey as well. And this becomes known as the Long March. So a union. So communists are going to gain more and more members along this long march, along their journey. But as both sides continue with fighting each other, the Japanese are going to invade. The reason for this Japanese invasion is they saw how weak the Chinese Civil War had made China, and they decided to invade the industrialized area in northeast China called Manchuria. In 1937, Japan will launch an all-out attack on China, killing thousands and leaving many others to suffer and die of starvation. And in 1938, Japan will have complete control of China. Now, this invasion by the Japanese will actually kind of force the nationalists and communists to unite to fight against Japan together, and the National Assembly will agree to the principles of Zhang, which were nationalism, democracy, and people's livelihood. So this here is a map that shows you the Long March from 1934 to 1935. You can see starting down here in southeast China. You can see that the communist troops moved, pretty far. They had a pretty long journey. Again, they moved through hot temperatures, cold temperatures, fighting the nationalists and things like that up here. And this is where they'll keep their stronghold, basically, for a little bit. But again, the nationalists and the communists will agree to unite together to fight against the Japanese in order to push them out of China. Okay? So your closure, what events happened between the nationalists and the communists during the Chinese Civil War? Think about the fighting, what was going on, how were they fighting each other, what was the fighting like, and also the video that you'll see also here talking about the Long March will also give you a better example and description of what the Long March was, what it really was. So use that to help you as well. All right, so have a good rest of your day or night, and I'll talk to you soon.